Good day, everyone. Welcome to this IBC Advanced Alloys webcast and conference call. I'm Jim Sims, Director of Investor and Public Relations with IBC. Before we begin today's webcast, let me give you just a few reminders. Slides from today's presentation and the audio of this call are being broadcast live over the web. A recording of the broadcast is being made and a replay will be available on the IBC website following the broadcast. We are at www.ibcadvancedalloys.com. After the formal presentation, you can ask questions of the company using the questions pane on your computer screen or your handheld device. Simply type in your question, click send. Those connected via our listen-only phone line can pose questions also. You have to email those to me at jim.sims, S-I-M-S, at ibcadvancedalloys.com, or you can text them to me at 303-503-6203. While we may not be able to get to all the questions during our webcast, we will try to get back to everyone. All right, today in our broadcast, we will be making forward-looking statements, and viewers are cautioned not to place undue reliance on such forward-looking statements and information. Joining us today in the webcast is Mark Smith, Chairman of the Board of IBC. Mark, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay. Thanks, Jim, and welcome everyone. Let's go to the key points of today's update and brief. Recent capital improvements are increasing IBC's production capacity and our product offering, opening up opportunities to expand business with current and new customers. Sales and marketing of IBC's beryllium aluminum barrel cast products to both the defense and civilian markets is being intensified. The recent purchase order from Command Corporation, which we announced yesterday, is one of several new sales opportunities currently in the pipeline. Copper Alloys is already receiving order inquiries for products that new capital equipment will allow us to produce for the first time. While fiscal Q2 results were disappointing due to a dip in demand in the quarter, orders for copper alloy and commercial barrel cast products have strengthened recently, and sales are expected to improve in the second half of fiscal year 2019. Additionally, the IBC board remains encouraged by increases in production capabilities, output capacity, efficiencies, and gross margins that are expected to result from our capital improvements program. And we believe that these capital improvements will play a key role in IBC achieving profitability. Let's talk about some of those upgrades and new additions. In our engineered materials division, where we specialize in beryllium aluminum alloys, we have installed several key capital upgrades and new additions. One of these is our DWAX furnace, shown here in slide 5. This unit involves a critical process for EMC that drives much of the production schedule for our high-performance barrel cast products. Previously, we had to outsource the process of dewaxing. Bringing this process in-house with this new furnace will help reduce outside vendor costs and increase margins. It also helps to ensure that EMC can quickly ramp up to higher rates when needed to support customer demand and respond to market changes that are typical of commercial customers of beryllium aluminum components. Also at EMC, we recently upgraded a wax injection system, which will allow us to inject an essential portion of the wax tree that is used in the assembly of every mold made at EMC. This process was previously done by an outside vendor. Doing the injection in-house will eliminate that cost, it will increase our margins, and it places the process in our control. It also will allow EMC to take advantage of recycled wax generated during the DWAX process, which will help to further reduce costs. We have also installed an upgraded power backup system at EMC, which is expected to minimize downtime in manufacturing processes. For example, our shell dip process, which applies layers of slurry over a wax to create a mold, requires extensive process controls. Even a slight interruption of this process can put the slurry out of specification. That then requires the tanks to be emptied and the slurry rebuilt, requiring extra labor and material costs in addition to downtime. This new backup power system can help eliminate those issues. In our copper alloys division, we have installed and now operate a new computer numerical control, or CNC, vertical lathe. You can see the inside of this unit on slide 8. This machine is improving our efficiency on existing work by allowing us to make more aggressive cuts on rough forgings. It also provides the additional speed and control required for higher tolerance finishes at a significantly reduced time. It is sized to accept work beyond the turning radius of any of our existing CNCs. This equipment has already opened up new sales opportunities to electronics and other industries with more value-added products. The new bridge mill replaces an existing planer mill that was used primarily for surface finishing of forged plate product. The new mill will very efficiently perform the same function of surface finishing, but with the value-added capability of adding high-precision milling, drilling, and tapping services to those products. For example, we can take copper alloy plates that we formerly sold to a heat exchanger manufacturer and now mill and drill them with high precision to the pattern required for the finished tube sheet. This adds significant additional value and allows for greater margin capture to those operations. Looking forward, our focus in both EMC and copper alloys is increasing sales to existing customers and sectors, generating higher gross margins and expanding into new markets. At EMC, the extensive engineering partnerships we maintain with current defense customers are helping to drive improvements in our ability to cast complex beryllium aluminum parts. This has in turn driven significant improvements in our product yields, and that is intended to generate improved margins going forward. Our success in improving our performance, yields, and production capacity has resulted in new inquiries from other major defense programs. Many of these we cannot discuss publicly, but I look forward to being able to make public announcements on these initiatives as often as we can. Also at EMC, we are engaged in preliminary engineering and prototyping for several products with multiple customers in both commercial and aerospace markets. Let me add as a footnote that it is a staple of the defense supply business that engineering lead times on cutting-edge products can be long. However, production quantities are often significant, multi-year contracts are standard, and program life is often 20 years or more. In our copper alloys business, our capital equipment investments, specifically the upgrades in machine tools, have already resulted in new business opportunities for the division. As a result of these upgrades, we are able to work on expanding sales in existing electronics markets with both current and prospective customers. New customers have already been signed up because of these expanded production capabilities. While much of our sales to the defense sector are currently coming from the beryllium aluminum business, we are also developing strategic relationships with new prime vendors in the defense sector for copper alloy products. With that, Jim, I'm happy to take any questions from our participants.
Thanks, Mark. For those participating on the webcast, you can type in your questions into your webcast tool on your screen and click send. For those of you who are participating in our listen-only line, please post your questions via email to me at jim.sims@IBC Advanced Alloys. Mark, we have a couple questions that have come in the last couple of days, so let's start with those investor questions first. Number one, the results of your second quarter were indeed disappointing. Has the reduced demand that you saw at the end of last year, calendar year, has that passed, and are you now seeing sales increase in 2019?
Yeah, the very simple answer to that is absolutely yes. We are seeing a lot of the sales and business activity that we saw early last year coming back, and it's coming back quite aggressively at this point in time. So we're very encouraged, and the timing couldn't be better, because with these new capital improvements finally coming to fruition, we're now in a position to aggressively attack those increased orders and new business. So yes, things have turned around, and we feel and see the difference.
All right, here's another question, Mark. Do you expect IBC's business with Lockheed Martin to expand as production of the F-35 airplane continues to grow.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And our bottom line message here is that Lockheed is very happy with IBC at this point in time. We do anticipate that their production is going to increase, which should result in additional production needed from IBC, which we welcome. I'd also like to note that Lockheed took the time to bring several of the members of their team out to our site in Wilmington, Massachusetts, and myself and Mike Jarvis, another board member, went out to meet the Lockheed folks. It was an outstanding all-day meeting, site visit. We discussed multiple additional things that IBC can be doing with Lockheed. And at the end of that meeting, IBC was invited to have set up a meeting with Lockheed down at their Orlando facility in Florida. And those folks from the F-35 program are going to introduce the IBC team to multiple additional programs within Lockheed. And we are obviously setting up that meeting immediately, because that can result in significant business in a relatively short period of time. So that was a very good piece of news for the company, and really good to hear that Lockheed is really happy with the performance of IBC at this point.
Okay, thanks for that. Another question, is there any update on the work IBC announced some time ago with BAE Systems?
There's nothing that we can report at this time, but that work is continuing, and when we are in a position to announce that, we will. But we are continuing to undertake that effort.
Okay. Our next question just came in. It's, are you allowed to comment on the company's current cash position?
Yeah, as restricted by our ability to only comment on what's publicly available. Obviously, our cash and all the financial information that we just filed on SEDAR is available, and that's about as much as I can publicly state. But I would like to note that the company is in a difficult cash position. And I am particularly proud of the team at IBC and the way that they are managing through this cash situation. Between Jim Taylor, Tony Wendell, Mike Jarvis, Mark Wolma, Ben Rapatula, everybody is working hard, and we're spending a lot of time together working through these issues. And we are all dedicated to success. And there is no question in my mind that we will work through these issues because this team is committed, they're passionate, and the excitement level of all of the people at IBC is really quite phenomenal right now. Because when you put the capital improvements into a business like this, like we have done, there's an immediate morale increase by all of the employees. So we know we have the commitment, we know we have the dedication of all of our employees. Everybody's working towards the same thing at this point in time. And I expect a very nice turnaround in this company in the short term.
All right, Mark. Another question. What is the status of IBC's work with NioCorp on developing scandium aluminum alloys?
That work is continuing, and we're obviously very excited for all that work to continue. I would be the first to say that some of that work tends to, or feels like it goes a little slower than what you would like it to go. But we are using an outside third-party lab to do the work that has helped eliminate the press of time and priorities on our own people in both companies. So we can not tie our people up on things and keep them focused on the business at hand. But the third-party lab has their issues as well, and the holidays are slow as people take time off. But it appears as if we'll have some additional test work done here in the very near future, and we look forward to that. The first efforts that we had undertaken, we were very happy with, and now we just need to get focused in on a little bit more precision there and repeatability on how to put these two elements together and make it a valuable product.
Okay. Another question. Has the company found a new CEO yet?
We have not. The board continues to run the company as a committee, and I can't thank my fellow board members enough. Jeff Hampson, Simon Anderson, Mike Jarvis. They have been just tremendous, and we're spreading the workload very well. Everybody's putting in a tremendous amount of effort. We are, focused on getting a new CEO for the company, and that work is underway. But in the interim, I'm also very happy with how things are progressing, and again, can't compliment our IBC management team enough. It's a real aligned team, and things are progressing quite well.
All right, Mark, that is all of the questions we have so far. For those of you who were not able to ask your question and you have a follow-up, again, please send that to me at jim.sims@ibcadvancedalloys.com, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. That's all we have today. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.